And we are live. What's good, your man DL Saint? How y'all feeling? Happy Saturday, man. It's early Saturday afternoon, man. I hope y'all doing well. Welcome to I really podcast, the weekly news edition. Y'all, we're just gonna break down a couple news stories. Just to have a look at what's going on. This show I try to keep it light. So I'm not gonna be getting into political stuff. The stories the stories we're gonna talk about today are just some stories you may or may not have heard of. I know I caught they caught my eye and I was just kind of, head scratching like, man, what's going on with the planet? Um, so yeah, we won't I will have some shows coming up talking about you guys know I talk a lot about Florida, what's going on in Florida. Um, Not just because Ron DeSantis is governor, he's running for president and he's like the number two Republican running for president at this time, like right now. But yeah, he's not doing that well, in my opinion, in that race. Maybe he shouldn't even run. Maybe he should focus on Florida because there's a lot of problems going on down here that, most folks don't know about. I've already mentioned a few times this homeowners insurance things, like people in Florida, their homeowners insurance is going up and it's happening. It's going up. As I've talked to folks whose insurance premiums have gone up 25% for the year. I've talked to people whose premiums have gone up over 50%. It's happening. Like it's happening. And you got a governor who's preoccupied with trying to win the White House, really trying to get past Donald Trump and how he looks in the media and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about that later on in the week. But just so you guys know, it's going on. It's going on. It's just the first of many issues down here in Florida that they're real issues, and you need leadership to kind of get through these issues. And right now, that leadership is lacking, in my humble opinion. So, so yeah, man, I'm glad y'all here. Let's let's get into this. Let's just get right into this. So there is, I don't know if you guys have heard these stories coming out of Spain, but in the Strait of Gibraltar, there's been numerous attacks on boats and yachts by killer whales, by orcas. And, scientists and the authorities are trying to figure out what it is. And I don't think anyone's been, um, seriously hurt except for the boats. I mean, there's some yachts that have been messed up. So that's going on right now. And it kind of blew my mind. Uh, did I pull it up? I sure didn't. Shame on me for not having this ready. But let's have a look at what's going on with these attacks by these big fish, right? This big fish. So let's check this out. This is from the Independent.
Fishing now?
Yeah. Like old.
So that little piece right there, that was a group of killer whales, orcas, attacking a boat. And you see how it, man, just jolted the boat. You can hear the noise, the rumble. Man, it's crazy. So that was just a visual of it. And now we're gonna pull up um in an article. It's a CNN article that's talking about the attacks. Kind of pull that up just to kind of get some background on it. But bro, could you imagine being on your yacht and some, whales that are bigger than your yacht come up and decide they wanna jack you up? Kind of scary. Kind of scary if you ask me. I don't know, bro. It's not like I'm a fearful kind of dude, but I respect the water. If I go on a boat party, we're not going out to sea. You can see, I can see the shoreline at all times. We're just out there kicking it. Especially those nighttime parties. Ain't nobody trying to get in the water. During the daytime, yeah, I might play around the water, but man, could you imagine you swimming around in the water somewhere in Miami and some big thing brushes up against you, man? I mean, it could be, who knows? You know what I mean? It could be anything, man. But there's big fish in there, bro. I don't like messing around in that environment, bro. We ain't the king of that environment. So Miss AKA ladies in the house, what's good, sis? How you feeling? Happy Saturday to you too. And happy Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, happy Memorial Day weekend to you as well. Um, I don't even be keeping track of the holidays, guys, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend. It's a long weekend. And it's the first weekend of the summer down here in Florida. So the kids are out doing their thing. Ms. AKA lady saying, we always had sharks in the water back home. I'm good, LOL. Yeah, there's sharks in the water down here too. So it is what it is. Say what you want to say about the environment and say what you want to say about the ecosystem. You're hearing more and more, people talk about shark attacks and stuff like that. This thing here with the whales, I've never heard of anything like this before. Never. This is new to me. So, and apparently it's new to the rest of the world. So, so yeah, we saw the video of the folks out there. Let's pull up this article. We, like I said, we saw the video of her boat being hit, and there's a few people on that boat. They wound up having to call for help. They had to call the Spanish authorities, who flew out a helicopter, a quick reaction team, to actually go out there and help them. They brought a big pump to pump water out, and of course they had personnel to make sure it was okay. They sent a ship out there to tow this yacht into port. So and I guess they call it it's a raid response vessel. It's a helicopter carrying a bilge pump to assist the 20 meters. So it was a 66-foot boat, which was sailing under a British flag. And they called for help, and there's rules for that. And the Spanish authorities sent help. And then we saw the footage. They posted footage that we just saw of the British sailor. And she said what started off as a seemingly unique encounter ended with orcas breaking off our rubber from the boat and proceeding to tear bits off the boat for an hour. So these whales went at this boat for an hour, and they ripped parts of the boat off, and they wound up puncturing the boat. They put a hole in the boat, and it's like a bunch of water went in. And like if you continue watching the video, it just shows them pumping, like bailing the water out with buckets, and then pumping the water out with the bilge pump when the helicopter showed up, and they had to be towed in. They couldn't get in under their own power. So it's like a huge hole in the hull meant we had water egress on other parts of the boat. In the engine room, I can honestly say it was a scary experience. We are all safe. I'm feeling grateful for the Coast Guard. So yeah, it was the Coast Guard, the Spanish Coast Guard, whatever the authorities came to help them out. And then there was a German boat that went out there as well and saw two smaller whales intimidating and ramming tactics of the larger orca believed to be the matriarch named White Gladys. So people are saying that there's a whale out there, and they've named her White Gladys. This either teaching or encouraging or somehow controlling the other whales in the pod to attack boats. And there's pictures of what these whales have done. And this guy continues. He says the little one shook off rubber at the back, while the big one repeatedly backed up and rammed the ship with full force from the side. The two little orcas copied the bigger one's technique, and the slight run up came darting towards the boat, mainly the rubber, but also the keel. So, and then it shows the damage that these whales are doing to some of these ships. And again, these ships are not little bitty things. You know what I mean? These they're pretty big boats. And Miss AKA lady is saying, I've seen whales hunt seals. I would have been hella scared. Yeah, bro. I mean, whales are effective hunters. These orcas, they've attacked sharks and defeated sharks. So orcas know what they're doing. They're not, they're related to dolphins. And it goes on. It says just 2 days previous on the 2nd of May, 6 orcas rammed the hull of a Bavaria 46-foot cruiser yacht in an encounter lasting an hour. So again, this is not just one-offs, right? And then that attack, it caused thousands of pounds of damage, which like money, dollars. I think the pound is still stronger than the dollar at this time. I think in conversion, I think. So they're saying these people are out here saying we're sitting ducks. They're worried. These rich people with their boats, like we don't know what to do. A clearly larger matriarch was definitely around when almost supervising these attacks. Is one of the witnesses said. and they're speculating that one was that big whale was the white Gladys that they've named her. The first orca encounter in the area occurred May 2020. Since then, more than 500 have been recorded, according to the GTOA research group. And those are the people who track whales, in particular the orcas. And there was a part in here. So it says most interactions have been harmless, with orcas only touching an estimated 1 in every 100 boats passing through the area, according to biologists. And they said that 3 vessels have sunk so far. So wow, these orcas have sunk. They sank 3 vessels. I wonder if anyone was hurt or deleted. I don't think so. It would have said that. Experts believe the white Gladys may have suffered a critical moment of agony, such as colliding with a boat or becoming entrapped during an illegal fishing, which altered her behavior in a defense fashion. So that's what some scientists are saying that might be the case. That the traumatized orca is the one that started this behavior of physical contact with boats. See, there's just people just trying to figure it out because this is so strange. And they say, we don't interpret that the orca is teaching the young, although the behavior is spreading as the young vertically, simply by imitation, right? So I guess the young whales learn by watching the old whales, and later, so vertically they learn by imitation, and horizontally among them because they consider it something important in their lives. The behavior has baffled scientists, with some initially suggesting it could be related to the harmful scarcity of food facing the mammals, or the disruptive resumption of business as usual nautical activities in the wake of the pandemic, while others have suggested it could be playful behavior. No one really knows why they do this. So, and I think that's kind of crazy. They're trying to figure it out. Like, why are these whales attacking boats? I don't know anything about the ocean. I don't know anything about that world. So, okay, maybe the big lady whale got hit by a boat, or caught up in some fishing nets or whatever, and had a traumatic experience. Maybe that happened. And now the animal is like attacking all the boats because, that's what they do. Maybe they were used to the peaceful seas. There were no boats around. And then since the pandemic, everyone's getting in their yacht and they're going back and forth. Especially like right now, this weekend is Monaco weekend for F1. So everyone with a yacht is in Monaco, and they're going to get there probably using the same sea lanes. And that, maybe that disturbed the whales and they don't like it. So they're attacking boats, or maybe they were just having fun. Whales are playful. And then the way that they play isn't the way humans play. I've seen videos of whales playing with women. Like, just one woman was in the sea and she had this encounter with this whale. I forget what type of whale it was. And she was playing with the whale, and then the whale grabbed her and then went down, went deep. She just had a snorkel, and you know what I mean? So it took her down deep, and then it would push her back up, and then it would take her down again. Again, the whale was just playing. And at some point watching the video, the woman passed out while she was underwater, and the whale pushed her back to the surface. People were saying that, well, the whale was smart enough to know that the woman was in trouble. So it wasn't playing anymore. So it pushed her back up to the surface. I don't know. It just sounds like she got lucky to me. Whales are very powerful animals. So they could be playing. Who knows? I don't know. I stay out of that world, Miss AKA lady. They got good memories. They probably have waged war on all boats. They probably do, man. They have just waged war on all boats. Like, you know what? We tired of these boats. Let's go get them. That's possible. So I just thought that was a crazy story. My cousin was telling me about that last night. I'm like, what's going on? And that is what I saw. So I'm like, all right. And then, so there's another story out there. You know what? I'm gonna say that one for last. Let's do this one. Apparently, there are volcanoes erupting in certain parts of the world. There's a big volcano eruption down in Mexico. There's another one in Italy. And volcanoes, for someone like me, former air traffic controller, Like volcano eruptions wreak havoc to the air traffic community. If a jet plane flies through volcanic ash, those engines are going to quit. Volcanic ash is real dense. It's not like flying through smoke. I mean, it's dense. It gets in there and it stops the engines. I don't care how many engines you got on that airplane, all of them are going to stop if you're flying on the 747 with 4 engines, or you're flying on, an F-18 with 1 engine. Is going to stop. I think the F-18 has 2, but maybe the F-35 that has 1. But it's gonna get in there and it's gonna stop those engines. Those engines are gonna flame out. And I mean, it happens. It has happened a lot. It's one of the top dangers of flying in today's world, because these volcanoes, they erupt. They spit ash way up into the atmosphere. They get way up there. So planes are just flying around and you won't know it. You just be flying around. You can't see it. It's nighttime. You're just flying and all of a sudden you start losing engines. I mean, this has happened more than once. And, the couple cases that I'm thinking of, like the airplane will get up there, right? Like it's up there, it's flying around. It hits the ash, loses its engines, and of course, it's going to begin a descent. Now, this is always a problem. People talk about, well, airplanes, if the engines go out, they're going to crash. Yeah, but it's an airplane. They can land pretty much anywhere. You just need a clear enough area. But the story I'm thinking about, it happened over water. They were over the Pacific Ocean. So it was, they were just going down. This was going to be a water landing. And once it got below the ash, the engines kicked back in. All the engines were able to restart all 4 engines. Okay, cool. And they began to climb. Again, it was nighttime. And back then we didn't have any kind of technology that could tell you about volcanic activity, ash clouds and stuff like that. So they climbed right back up into the ash. And the same thing happened. Lost all the engines and they went down again. Until finally the pilot, the same thing, they got down low enough and the engines came on. And they were getting closer and closer to land as this was going on. The pilots decided to stay at the altitude that they were. And it was only after, with research, they figured out, oh, it was a volcanic eruption at this island over here. The volcanic ash got into the jet stream and the pilot flew through it. So this is a bad thing. So in air traffic control, that's something you look for. That's something that pilots look for. There's a bunch of things that pilots look for, but volcanic ash is always on the top of the list because it will absolutely 100% bring your aircraft down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, I don't know what technology is being developed to protect for that. I don't know if they're making engines with filters or bigger parts that can withstand volcanic ash. I don't think so. I would have to go and call up some people, some engineers in the business, and ask them. So the best thing to do is to avoid volcanic ash at all costs. So now when there, volcanic activity and, volcanoes erupting, all air traffic control facilities around the world are notified. So there's people who check it and they build these, projections of where the ash may go, and they, just avoid it. They don't send any airplanes, let all aircraft know, stay out of this area. This is why. And then they look at altitudes and stuff like that. So this is a big thing. So here's a video, quick video, Associated Press, of what's going on with volcano. And this is El Popo volcano in Mexico. So just check it out. And you see how
Pues pica la ceniza de que está todo acá en el pavimento.
You see how thick volcanic ash is. I mean, it's thicker than just regular like ash from fire and stuff like that, man. It's really bad stuff.
Lo que ha tirado el volcán. Ajá. Y por eso varios niños les hace daño la vista, la garganta.
Si la hierba nos gana más que el producto, obvio que no sale nada. Y esa hay que así que
So there you have it. I mean, and that's, you know, volcanoes ain't no joke, y'all. Volcanoes are no joke. So, you know, everyone's always talking about Yosemite National Park. You know, the forest, like, it's great. I've never been, but I've talked to people who've gone. They go like every year, every other year. They love it, you know, because it's open to the public. It's a public park. It belongs to the people of America. And everyone wants to go see Old Faithful. Like, this guy that goes, Old Faithful, Old Faithful. Well, Old Faithful is a volcano. It's a big volcano sitting under there. One day that thing is going to blow. Just like Mount St. Helens erupted back in the 80s, I think it was. It's just a matter of time before Old Faithful blows. And that might be one of those super volcanoes. That can make me a really big volcano. So when that happens, that's really going to change the way we do business in America, right? It's really going to, you know, people talk about a black swan. Like, there you go. That's going to be one huge black swan. So that's you know, I tell folks, like, man, be careful, get ready. And so that volcano in Mexico is absolutely affecting air traffic flow between Mexico and America, and, you know, like Central America and South America and stuff like that. Trust and believe, air traffic controllers are routing around that volcano, and they're trying to map where that ash is going, like which way is it getting into the jet stream, which way is it going, and all that. Volcanic ash is a problem. Big problem in air traffic. That'll make your day horrible. It'll be a terrible day. Brother Mark is in the house. What's good, Devil Dog? I see you. I haven't talked to Sister May yet, bro. I haven't reached out to her. I'll probably reach out to her Monday or Tuesday to see what she's doing. You know, and definitely want to try to get her back on this program. But yeah, as soon as I talk to her, though, I'll let her know. I'll let her know, man. I hope you're having a good Saturday. So there's the final story I want to share. I want to talk about is this story took place in South Korea. You guys probably heard of this one already. So let me pull it up. South Korea, and when I heard this story, it blew my mind. You know, I can't. I was like, what is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? And here we go, man. Let's check this out. Man who terrified passengers by opening aircraft door mid-air wanted to get off quickly. So this, you guys have probably seen the video. An airplane was trying to land more than 800 feet in the air on final approach. Somebody got up and opened the door, and people were just sitting there with all with all the air rushing by them, bro. So just imagine you're on final approach and you're in your airplane. Somebody gets up and walks and just opens the door. I mean, you know, it's good that he did it at 800 feet versus doing it at 20,000 feet. If he'd done it at 20,000 feet, it'd been a problem. I'm not even sure if he could have gotten the door open with the pressure and the way the doors are designed, but he got them doors open at 800 feet. That is a problem. It was just people sitting there. There's videos of just people sitting there, you know, having to deal with all this air, you know, because the door's open and it's, you know, open cockpit, and you're flying in the airplane is doing, you know, at that point, probably 100 miles an hour, maybe faster, depending on where he was and what that aircraft was doing. It's crazy. Brother Pitney's in the house. What's good, fam? How you doing? Some people's kids, facts, bro. Like, and this is in Korea. This was in South Korea. Brother Pitney continues. I know he's an adult. I say that tongue in cheek. Absolutely, bro. he's an adult, but he's somebody's kid. Somebody blew it. You know what I mean? He had a mom and daddy, but somebody blew it. So, man, let's check out this story, bro. And so this was in Seoul, South Korea, or the story is out of Seoul, South Korea. A man who opened the emergency door of Asiana Airlines plane just before landing on Friday afternoon told police that he felt suffocated and wanted to get off the plane quickly. At 800 feet, huh? Okay, airborne. The door of the jet opened as it was coming in to land, at Daegu, South Korea, leaving wind whipping through the plane cabin and terrifying passengers grip their armrests. Video shows as they grip their armrest. Video of the incident shows. So like the door opens up, wind comes in like crazy. Could you imagine driving down the street at 80 miles an hour and then your windscreen, right, just collapses. It just boom. The windshield just collapses. And you just got all that air like hitting you. I was on a Blackhawk? I was on a Blackhawk. No, it was a Huey. No, it was a UH-1. I was on a Huey. I was on a mission with the reserve guys and National Guards. I was up in Michigan, and we were flying from Grayling, Michigan to Traverse City, Michigan. Right, we're just flying, and I sat in the part of the helicopter where we had the doors open, and the wind was just coming right at me, and I'm sitting there, bro. I'm sitting. Everyone else is sitting on the opposite side. They're facing me. I'm facing them, and we're flying, bro. That was painful. I'm sitting there, have my beret off in my pocket. I'm sitting there, no headgear, just sitting there. I'm strapped in, and the wind was just, it was just like getting beat up by ghosts, bro. And the rest of the team sitting across from me, getting none of the wind. Like they could feel this nice, comfortable ride for them. They got me. I was a rookie. You know what I mean? They got me, bro. And I got beat up. My face was pulled back, bro. We were flying. We were flying pretty good. Look, it hurt. It hurt. We were probably going about 50, 60 miles an hour, maybe 80 miles an hour, maybe. In a UH-1. I couldn't imagine somebody open the door of a jet that's out there trying to land and all that wind, bro. It just, look, it blew me away. Miss AKA lady says, I saw a video from not too long ago where a dude opened the emergency exit on a plane during descent. I didn't even know that was possible. Dude got 10 years for that. I didn't see that video. I saw a video of a guy. I think it was a flight attendant, and this was his way of quitting, and he opened up the door and while it was armed, and then the emergency slide came out. He slid down the slide and just walked away. He got some time for that. But I didn't see the video you're talking about. I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know people were opening doors on airplanes. That's just so lethal. So it's just crazy. But the article continues. The door of the jet opened as it was coming in to land at Daegu, South Korea. Incident shows. Oh, okay. And an airline official said a man in his 30s. Oh, he's 30 in his 30s. Fairly young dude. Man, some people's kids, who was sitting at the emergency seat, seemed to have opened the door when the aircraft was about 700 feet above the ground and about 2 to 3 minutes from landing in the city 150 miles south of Seoul. So they had to cover 150 miles in 2 or 3 minutes. So that lets you know how fast they were going, right? They were moving. So, and they were 700 feet. I've jumped at 800 feet. So, that's close. It's close to the ground, bro. Like I've jumped at 800. I think the highest I've ever jumped was 2,100 feet above the ground. So, man, they were moving fast. And this guy he's already sitting at the emergency exit and just decides to open the door. Man, I need some air. That's crazy. However, company officials told CNN the plane had landed safely. Yeah, they were on final approach. They were going to land. There's no need to do anything else. I'm pretty sure all kind of alarms were going off in the front of the plane. The pilots were trying to figure out what's going on and talking to the flight attendant. Flight attendant's like, yeah, someone just opened the door back here. That's it. They're going to land it. They're going to land the airplane. They're not going to keep flying. They're going to land the airplane. That is the safest thing to do. In fact, there's no way the air traffic control could even stop them from landing at that point. You could try. You could, like, the term go around in air traffic control, that means to tell the pilot to keep flying. Like, he's trying to land, you say go around, he'll just start flying and he'll go back, and do another approach. You couldn't even send that guy around. Like, this is an emergency, bro. I'm landing. Like the pilot, like, no, my door's open, bro. I'm landing. Local police said the man had been arrested at Daegu Airport on Friday in connection with the incident. He told them he had been under a lot of stress after losing his job recently and had felt suffocated and wanted to get off the plane quickly. Yonhap News Agency reported. South Korea's Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, and Transport said in a statement Friday that police and the ministry were investigating an individual over violation of aviation law. You hope so. Any person who contributes the Aviation Security Act, I guess that means break it, which includes passenger operating doors, exits, or equipment inside the aircraft, could be prosecuted and sentenced up to 10 years in prison, the statement said. The ministry also said that the dispatched an aviation safety supervisor to the site to check whether there was an abnormality in aircraft maintenance. This is all just normal standard stuff. I mean, the door worked the way it's supposed to work. I think at altitude, it's not going to open because of the different pressure of the aircraft inside versus the air outside the aircraft, but they were low enough. I don't think that the system would think it was a problem. A total of 200 people were on board, including 194 passengers, according to Asiana Airlines. And then there's pictures. People said that they were, that the wind messed them up and that kind of hurt them and all that kind of stuff. According to the Daegu Fire Department, 12 people suffered minor injuries from hyperventilation, and 9 of them have been sent to hospitals in Daegu. The aircraft was identified on the Flight Radar 24 tracking website as Airbus 321. The jet was on the flight from Jeju Island off South Korea's eastern coast to Daegu. Aviation expert Geoffrey Thomas of Airline Ratings described the incident as very bizarre. Yeah, it is very bizarre. I've never heard of it. I ain't gonna, except for when Ms. FKA lady said, I've never heard of this. Technically, it's not possible to open doors in flight, he told CNN. Apparently it is, bro. Apparently it is. I don't know how the doors work. I'm not part of that world, but this dude opened it. So yeah, he's like, you're not supposed to be able to open it. I don't know. This dude opened it. And Thomas noted that the landing speed of the Airbus 321 is about 150 knots. Yeah, it's 172 miles per hour. Yeah, I told you they were moving, guys. They were moving, meaning winds of that speed are passing the aircraft. The door behind the wing of the aircraft opened into the airstream. He said it seems implausible that the door could be open in the first place, and against the airstream technically impossible, but somehow or another it happened. Thomas said. So yeah, he did get. Dude, that airplane is moving there, close 172 miles per hour, close to 200 miles per hour. So there was a point when he was able to get that door open, and I don't know which way the wind was going. So if the door is kind of opening out into the wind, you would think would just keep pushing back on the door. But if it was designed the other way, it would just pop the door open or rip it off. Man, I don't know. And now it's just, like the air carriers, the engineers, Airbus, the people who made the airplane, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out saying what this shouldn't have happened. This is what we plan to do. This is how it was designed. Like Asiana Airlines told CNN, the airplane is automatically set to adjust to the pressure of the cabin. According to the attitude of the aircraft, when the aircraft is high up in the air, it is impossible to open the door. But when the attitude is low and close to landing, the door can be open. And that makes sense. I mean, that's just, I've been around enough aircraft to know that, yeah, that makes sense. Engineers have a problem when they design these airplanes. You want to design an aircraft that is secure at altitude. So when it's way up in the sky, you don't want someone to accidentally or purposefully open a door, because it will flush everyone and everything out of that airplane in the immediate area. There was a flight in Hawaii, had a small hole in the airplane, top of the airplane, and they got to flying in the pressure from inside. It was, the airplanes are pressurized, and the pressure outside had a little hole, and it blew a chunk of the roof off the airplane. And there was a flight attendant who was walking around. She got blown out right away when it happened. And the other 2 flight attendants were walking around, but the passengers who were strapped into their seats grabbed the other flight attendants and were able to keep them secure, keep them from being sucked out this major hole at the top of the airplane. It was like the top was missing, bro. It was like a retractable, like a sunroof. That's not good. And the airplane was able to come back and make an emergency landing. This was in Hawaii. This was in the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there. And the only person that was lost was the one flight attendant who was literally standing under the hole when it blew. So there's nothing anyone can do to get her. She was just blown out right away. And they were, thousands of feet in the air. So when engineers design these airplanes, they design them when the pressure is on, as the airplane is pressurized, you can't open the doors or anything at altitude. It's designed that way. You have to blow it out using some sort of explosive or something like that. That's how they're designed. But the closer they get to the ground, they want to design these doors and hatches to open. Because if there's an emergency, people need to get in there and get you out. You need to be able to open the doors. So, there's a very delicate balance there. So yeah, I can see that. Probably once the plane was under 200 miles an hour, the door is probably like it could be open. That's just me guessing. And there's going to be a bunch of tests done. They're going to do a bunch of experiments. They have to, people need to make sure that they're safe. They're going to do maybe they're going to add some sort of code, but you don't want to do that, do you? Because again, you want to be able to open the door when you need to, if it's an emergency, to get out. So they just had the wrong dude sitting there. Brother Penny Jules, the rapid cabin depressurization on final approach must have really ticked off the pilot. Yeah, it would have definitely changed the attitude of the aircraft. It would have made his job harder landing that thing. But good pilots are going to figure it out. It's a good thing they had a good crew up front. MSAK, hey lady, Suzette posted that story a day or two ago on IG. That had to be treated like attempted murder. Yeah. It be like 100 and something counts of what I mean. But it was unintentional. The dude's just crazy. So many crazy folks, man. Look, they're crazy over there in South Korea. Dude lost his job and he was like, I'm having a hard time breathing. I'm gonna open the door of the airplane while it's flying around. Yeah, final destination stuff indeed. And Brother Penny, imagine if an aircraft caught fire below a certain altitude. Y'all want the ability to open the door and use a parachute to touch down safely. Yeah. Fires are tough on board an aircraft. You get a fire, that's man, you gotta get, there's plenty of fire extinguishers. You gotta get that thing out. But oh man, I don't know. Just to me, this is just a crazy story. You know what I mean? It was just a crazy story. Like, yo, who does this? So there's gonna be some sort of knee-jerk reaction. It's like, okay, do we not allow people to sit next to the emergency exits? Right? You're gonna hear stuff like that. What do we do? Do you have to have like a special certification? Like, all right, you are a blue check traveler, which means you can in fact sit next to the escape door because we checked you out 2 weeks ago and you're not crazy or whatever. Who knows? Maybe they put, maybe that's a new job opportunity. They just put a flight member, a crew member in that seat. And now all the airlines got to do that. You got to have a crew member sitting at the emergency exit. Who knows? Maybe put some sort of security. Like, bro, I don't know how you defend against this sort of thing. Yeah, again, how do you stop crazy? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just, man. And Brother Penny's like, yeah, have an air marshal watch the door. But he got to watch everybody on the plane. So you have to, you still want the air marshal to do his job. And because that's the guy who's armed, you definitely don't want him to be distracted if he has to pull his weapon and fire at 20,000 feet. Because that bullet will go through the window and boom. Remember what we talked about, the hole blowing out the top of the airplane? Well, it will blow out. Wherever there's a little hole at altitude, it'll blow out and become a big hole. And then a bunch of people will get sucked into that hole. So until the pilot gets the aircraft down to an altitude where the pressure, it stabilizes. So you have to hire somebody else. Just hire people to, that you already have. Like, all right, we're gonna pay you out of the, fly on these flights. And generally speaking, there's always someone trying to jump seat or this and that. There's someone, employee or family that's trying to get into that seat, to get whatever and get wherever. So, you can easily put them there. Like, all right, this seat is reserved for our employees or other employees of other airlines. So if you're flying on Delta and an American airline crew member is trying to get a seat on that flight, maybe they'll just reserve those doors for people in the aviation field, like air traffic controllers, flight attendants, pilots, ground crew. And it's like, we can train them. They get special training. It doesn't stop them from being crazy and doing something like that. But I mean, that's better than just having a stranger, I would imagine. I don't know, bro. This is crazy. These people are crazy. Miss AK, hey lady, the emergency exit in my first class, I need to sit there. Right. I would get certified just to keep the leg room. Hey, I ain't mad at you. Don't get it twisted. If you get certified to sit by the door, they still gonna charge you. Still going, oh, you want this extra leg room? Yeah, we still gonna charge you for this seat. So I just thought that story was crazy. I wanted to throw that in there. So that's what's going on in the news. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on in the news, y'all. But I just thought that those three stories right there I wanted to talk about. Just kind of crazy. So I just wanted to come on. I'm trying to put content out. Y'all know what it is. Content. That's the name of the game. Trying to get that stuff out. I will be traveling Friday. So I'm going to pre-record Friday's show. I'm telling y'all now, I'm going to keep reminding everybody, Friday's show will be pre-recorded. And then when the show is actually running, it'll say pre-recorded, running on the ticker and everything else. Because I will be in Fort Lauderdale Friday at 6:00. There is an event with it's a live event with Valuetainment and Fresh and Fit platforms. I'm going to be there. That's this Friday, June 2nd. I'm gonna check that out. So, and as y'all know, I normally go live at 6. So at 6:00, I might be in the chat. I'll probably be in the chat doing my own show. I'll be in the chat talking crazy, but I'll be in Miami, Fort Lauderdale at that event. So I'll remind everybody as we get closer and closer to Friday, like it's going to be a pre-recorded show. I did it before. I even had the thing that said this is pre-recorded, but still people were like, yo, where you at? What's going on? How come you put my chat up? Hey. It was like, I'm not there. I was in the chat like, yo, I'm out. I'm not home. This is pre-recorded. So be ready for that. This Thursday, we're going to have Shushu. Shushu and I are going to be here talking about dating relationships and stuff like that. So be prepared for that. This week, we'll probably have 3 I really want to know episodes where we're going to be talking about red pill stuff, dating, relationships, and all that. Maybe just like 1 or 2 political stuff. In fact, Friday will probably be a downrange political show that's recorded. So we're going to do that. I like to keep things, I like to talk about all kind of crazy stuff, right? I like to talk about everything. So I spread it out, but people like the relationship shows, man. They like the red pill stuff. They like the manosphere stuff. They like that sort of stuff, man. You know what I mean? So that's what people want. That's what people are going to get. We're going to have to, jump on there. We'll do a whole week of that. I definitely got some shows I want to talk about. We're going to do a show on red flags. We'll probably do a show on how to deal with hateful people. We're going to be doing stuff like that this week because all that kind of ties into relationships and then all, red pill stuff. So appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Be ready for that. We're going to keep this thing going. I'm going to be out today. I want to check out this place called The Gimmick. The Gimmick here in Tampa is a kind of like a speakeasy kind of vibe. They don't have alcohol, but it's an artistic space where people put up, their creations, via paintings or sculptures or whatever, but they do comedy as well. So it's a spot where people can come, these young comics in Tampa could go here and work on their skills. And again, they have no alcohol. They're doing open mics a couple times a week. They have these shows on Fridays. I think they got one on Saturday. I'm going to go check that out and see what they got going on down there. I'm going to be filming and stuff like that with my phone, and then I'll be posting this stuff on Instagram. Now that summertime is here, I'm going to really start focusing on Instagram. I'll probably start maybe even pull up my Facebook. I have a Facebook. I never look at it, but I'll probably start, putting people on, maybe broadcasting on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see. I don't know how to manage it. I'm going to figure out how to manage it, talk to some folks and see how difficult it is. Cause this is a lot to keep my eyes on to add more. I mean, I don't know if I need to get another monitor. I don't know how that works, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to check out the gimmick today, guys. And see what it is, what it do down there. I'm gonna find out who owns it, get into the nitty gritty about it. Like, hey, how did you get the space? I'm gonna really just get in there and hopefully find the owner and get some good questions in there. And I'm gonna post that stuff on Instagram. And if I'm lucky, I'll get them to come up on this platform and tell me, everything they know about the business. And I'm wondering when they're gonna get their alcohol licenses. I know that's a big thing. So I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be in these streets, man. I'm gonna be out here in no man's land doing my thing. I might even just walk up on a couple strangers, some young women or some older women, and talk to them about dating and their take on that, and start posting that stuff and get them to come on the platform. And I'm gonna be doing some live in studio interviews as well, down in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, here in Tampa, and wherever I travel. That is the plan. Give me about a month on that. So you guys are gonna start seeing all this stuff. We're just gonna keep bringing content and trying to keep this live and vibrant. You know what I'm saying? And keep it popping over here, man. I thank y'all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. And just want to give y'all a heads up on what we're doing. We're gonna keep getting. We're trying to get to 1,500 subscribers, get to 1,500, and then we can get to 5,000. You know what I mean? And then continue on our way to 100K. That's, everyone keeps saying you gotta get 100,000. And that seems like a whole lot. It seems like a whole lot, but hey, we'll see. I'm gonna be on stage. Maybe I'll be able to get more people to come check me out. We'll see. Miss AKA lady, multiple monitors are essential when trying to multitask. It certainly is, but it's confusing. Looking around like, what? Okay, this one, that one, moving. It takes time. You just gotta get used to it. I can hack it. I was an air traffic controller. That's all we did was multitask. That's all we did. If I can do that, I can look at multiple monitors there. I'm looking at this radar. I'm looking at a ground radar. You know what I mean? I'm looking at an en route radar. I'm looking at stuff behind me that's showing me, traffic flow information. I'm talking to other controllers. If I can do all that, I can certainly have 3 monitors on the show while I'm moving the mouse around. You know what I mean? So thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. I appreciate it, man. Y'all, my day ones, never gonna forget you. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I got merch I'm working on getting, and you guys are gonna get, like, this is a Patrick Bet-David Valuetainment hat, right? So they got their logo here, and then they have this stuff written on the side or whatever, and they got stuff on the bottom. You see that? But when my first hat that comes out, I promise you, it's going to say day ones. I'm only going to have a limited amount of those, and you guys are getting them. And I'm not charging you a dime. I'm going to send y'all your day one hats as soon as I get them. Hopefully, I'll have that done by the end of the summer. That's my plan. By the end of the summer, it's just a matter of, getting the money and finding the people who can make it and getting the proper design and colors and all that. But when it comes out, you guys are going to have the day one hats, and no one else is going to be able to get them. Only my day ones. And who are the day ones? The day ones are the people who have wrenches behind their name, like my mods. I made every one of mine just so I know who my day ones are. So that is my plan. I don't know how I'm gonna get y'all these hats, but I plan to. You can pay for one, Miss AKA lady, but I'm gonna give you one for free. I'm gonna give you one because that's how much I appreciate you as my day one. If you want to pay for one, there will be the regular hats won't say day one. The regular hats will just be regular, but the day one hats you won't even be able to buy. I have to give it to you. So that's my plan. It's kind of like something special for my day ones. And Miss AK lady, hers should be even extra special. Hers should say day 1+1. That's what it should say, because she's been here forever just rocking with me. I appreciate it. So that's it. I got to go, man. I hope y'all enjoyed that. This was fun for me. I got to get ready. I was up till 3 a.m. last night working on stuff. Not just for this, with some other things I was working on. Just a lot of reading. Just keeps me up. But man, so now I got to get out here and do some stuff. The grind never stops. I got to get out here and make it happen. You know what I mean? Miss AKA lady LOL, almost a year. Facts. So I'm out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed it. This was fun. Have a good time. Enjoy your holiday weekend, guys. Have fun. Go out here, get outside, do some stuff, meet some people, get out of the VR world, get away from your computer world. Go out there and meet people in real life. All right. Trust me, it's a lot of fun. And if you're flying on the airplane, don't open the door until the airplane is on the ground and someone who works there opens the door for you. All right, I'm out of here. I'm DL Saint. This is DL Saint. I Really Want to Know podcast. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.
That guy's crazy.